Okay, after 15 minutes of straight comedy as Kyle was trying to figure out his microphone today, we're here with the show. We have a lot of, it's Christmas Eve. We have a thing coming tomorrow. We have a new newsletter, and we have VinFast. We haven't talked about in quite a while. Felt like the right thing to do today. Remember them? They had that cool boat, shipped all the cars over.
Shipped all the cars.
And got swallowed up by the world.
I don't know.
You know, one of the fun things, look, we've done 800 plus episodes of this show. Right, and
Paul J. Daly.
Use my middle initial.
Use his middle initial.
I'm in trouble.
And his last name. Look, the number of things that have been, if people only knew, right? Like, it is hard to put on a show every day, right? The thing of just building the show, knowing what stories to put in, just the regular pieces. If everything with technology goes right, just the regular pieces of like showing up, being on,
hard enough,
into the mood, right? All of that, just being regular. But then when you compound that with like doing it on a trash can in an airport, or
you're going to say, that's funny. That's the one that came to mind for me too.
Right? The whole home setup is just down. Doesn't work. Got a whole basically road setup in your house. It's a whole thing.
It's so funny because Nathan and I were just on this and Kyle is just trying, and then we could hear him, but he couldn't hear us. Then he could hear us, but we couldn't hear him. And we were like, oh, it'd be so savage if we were just pretending we couldn't hear him.
See, that's what I
believe us now.
I said,
I know. Then you took a sip of your coffee. I was like, no, we really can't hear you.
And he goes, no, we're not messing with you. I was like, see, I knew you were messing with me. It didn't work. It's unbelievable. We're here, though. We're here. We're talking about the things. It's Christmas Day and Christmas Eve.
All at once.
Time, right?
In reverse. Yeah. Oh, no, at the same time. Christmas Eve, because tomorrow is episode 4 release of More Than Cars. We're at Mohawk Chevrolet. And it is a full-out blast. We tried some new things with the edits. We have some really great interstitials in there with some 8-bit video game throwbacks. It's a lot of fun. It's an amazing dealer group. Andy's an amazing leader, and his team is dialed in. We can't wait to bring it all to you. And the question must be asked, will I finally win a competition?
Wow.
You'll have to tune in to find out. The best way to do that is to join us for the live stream. Just go to our LinkedIn page, Asotu, click on events, and then this live stream will be right there. Join us for the live stream. I think there's like 500 people already on that list. And we just have a lot of fun. We're going to get right to the show. And then if you do miss it, right, it'll be on YouTube and it'll be places you can watch it too. But it's so much fun. Another thing, the reason it's Christmas Day is because you just hit send on the brand new Asotu published email called AutoIndustry.ai.
And it was a good one. I'm telling you, we've just brought together some of the smartest people that we know and said, what are you thinking? What are you challenging? How is AI going to be used? And we're just giving them a platform to talk about that's unique and exact for the topic. So you know what you're going to get every time you go there. It's not some broadscape news. It's about AI. It's either news or thought, opinions, or whatever it may be. And then we'll get to it at the end of the show because there's a little spot called the prompt of the week that you can't miss. Go to AutoIndustry.ai and sign up for that joker.
Yep. First one dropped today. Hey, if they sign up today, will they get today's edition? Will they get the last one? No, but
we sent an email with a link to it. And so, you
okay. You can get to it. So it's not too late. But it's it's so hard to keep up with the velocity of AI, right? So it's like we just kind of put together the dream team of DJs to curate the content for you. So you don't have to. So you can keep, selling cars and caring about your team, all that stuff. All right, let's get into some news before Kyle's microphone goes out again. VinFast, remember them, is getting another major capital infusion from its billionaire founder, Pham Nhat Vuong, as well as parent company Vingroup to aid its global expansion. So basically, Vietnam's first billionaire pledged a personal investment of $2 billion. And Vingroup is investing an additional $1.38 billion. Existing loans from Vingroup to VinFast is already valued at, I don't know what the conversion there. 80 trillion dong. What is that?
How are you going to measure things in 80 trillions?
Inflation. So basically the two are pledging to continue to support Vingroup through 2020 or VinFast through 2026 to reach cash flow equilibrium is what they're projecting right now. So they're looking at burning cash for at least another year and then some. He did say in June that he was willing to bet all of his money on the company's growth. I wonder how much money he has. So just a little sleeper, right? And this is VinFast one that said they're going to have a dealer network, or they do have a dealer network.
Yeah. I mean, I still think there's so much money in Asia that like they're going to figure out how to make this work.
Best or not, right?
Yeah. I mean, the question is always going to be, what's the price point of these vehicles? Are, tariffs and things under the new political regime going to be changing their ability to get into the U.S. market? But I don't think they're not going to be worried about it for too long. When you can toss around personal investments of $2 billion, you're going to be fine.
And you're willing to spend all your money. Wonder how much money he has.
Spend all.
He's not one. He's not one. I'm telling you right now. I don't care what country you're from. You're not willing to spend all your money on a car company.
I don't know.
All your money. Keep that last million.
I mean, keep the last million. It'll be fine.
So they were building a large plant in North Carolina. They put that on pause, though, didn't they?
That's right. Yeah. They had dealers lined up and the whole 9 yards, and it just kind of like slowed to a halt earlier this year. So we'll see if it comes back for NADA.
I know. And with the tariff situation, you have to think that the factory in the US makes all the sense. At least they've done all the groundwork, right?
Yep.
Like site selections, some site work has been done. So I don't know. I kind of like the vibe of the VinFast people.
I know. It's scrappy.
It's the CEO, Leithitu Thoy, right?
Scrappy $2 billion people.
She's kind of cool. Like I like the VinFast vibes.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know why. I just do. They had that big presser. I know.
And they always send people at NADA. Like, that's strong.
I know. Look, that's true. We need to talk to some VinFast people this year. If you know VinFast people, if you're one of the dealers, whatever, make sure you reach out to us, crew@asotu.com. We would love to talk to some VinFast people while we're at NADA. We're going to be there in full effect again. We'll talk more about that later. But let's talk about a little bit of AI. We got two things to talk about for AI.
We do.
In honor of our inaugural AutoIndustry.ai conversation. So as AI investments accounted for almost, get this, 40% of VC deals in Q3, dealerships should be preparing for a surge in AI-driven solutions, likely unfolding in 3 phases, according to guest contributor Steve Greenfield. So we reached out to Steve and said, hey, you want to be a contributor to this new newsletter? He said, yes. This was his first article. It's in today's episode. Or if you just go to AutoIndustry.ai, you can just read the whole article and then you can subscribe from there. Basically, he said, here are the 3 phases, how he sees AI going to be rolling out. And he's kind of a futurist, so it's important. I listened to Steve on this one. Phase 1, he says the AI-powered co-pilot. And he says co-pilots can double productivity by handling routine tasks, allowing employees like BDC agents to respond to twice as many leads and accelerating accounting workflows. That seems like some good ground to gain right now.
Maybe all the BDCs will actually respond to every lead.
Oh my gosh. They should subscribe to our email. Phase 2. Yes. Too soon. The AI powered, he said, this is the next phase, is the intelligent agent. So agents like Siri or Alexa operating independently, managing tasks such as answering dealership calls, scheduling service appointments 24/7, making a true 24/7 dealership experience possible. So that's phase 2. And we see people merging into that phase 3.
There's already some of that in the industry, right? Numa, Auto Service AI, Brook, things like that, that are starting to do a bit more of that on a reactive nature. It's going to be, how much proactivity happens out of AI and how much intelligence gets baked into that.
Yeah, we'll talk about these one by one. There's too much to just take it as it. And if you pay attention to what Salesforce is doing, obviously very progressive when it comes setting the tone. Their last Dreamforce event was all about AI agents. And these are the agents. This is what Steve is talking about here. Phase 2, seeing more of these come into automotive. Salesforce is focusing heavily on this. I heard yesterday they're hiring 50,000 salespeople.
Makes a ton of sense
to push AI agents. So that's not as far as you think. Phase 3, AI replacing roles altogether. This is autonomous AI replacing repetitive roles with human capital, making up 80% of costs in your store. Dealerships might see some substantial profitability benefits while AI handles tasks once managed by people.
Yeah. And this is, obviously there's a lot of conversation on when AGI happens, which is artificial general intelligence, which is kind of the ability for AI to really do net new curation and thinking on its own. And so that will be the point where it can extract and read in between the lines and start to create for itself, which is where replacing repetitive roles actually makes sense because you don't have to be always prescriptive about the output. And yeah, we'll see. Like 2025 is going to be a wild year because the pace of the pace of AI right now is outpacing any technology in the last 15 years for sure. So I think what's weird to me, and we'll talk about this in a second, is that you've got, they've been talking about this kind of bell curve of AI a lot. And the bell curve is that there's some super early adopters that are extremely educated on how to prompt, what to use, where to use it, how to plug into the APIs, that you've got this large middle curve that's growing quickly, but it's largely uneducated and actually unable to approach AI correctly. And then you've obviously got the trailing that's just not even interested. And even utilizing AI as a co-pilot for a large percentage of the population is still kind of troubling,
far off.
Like it's far off because it's almost hard to consume and understand how to use it at a basic day-to-day level.
So this is one of the reasons we made the newsletter, because the Asoto team has been using GPT and AI since it first came out.
Absolutely.
So we are in the weeds. You're in it with your tech company. I'm in it with my agency. We're in it. The Asoto team is probably the heaviest users of it. So we're constantly using it. We're not like I don't know. In some instances, I think we are at the front of the bell curve.
We are. Yeah.
And so
maybe not when it comes to like utilizing the APIs. And
right. But
like that.
But yeah. So but
use.
All the other stuff. Yes. And that doesn't mean that we're geniuses. That just means we've been doing it for 12 months.
Right.
And which is the cool thing and encouraging thing for, I think, everybody that's listening, everyone gets on the AutoIndustry.ai newsletter, is that you can be the front runner in just 6 months. Just get used to it. And I think the largest component, to your point, Kyle, is just understanding how you can use it. That's it. Oh, I could use AI for that. I can use it for that. It's almost like one of those video game maps when you're playing the game and the map is dark. And then you walk a little bit and then a piece of the map opens up. You're like, oh, I can see now there's mountains there. There's an army over there. Same principle. So Sam Altman did say, we didn't cover this in this story or in the newsletter this week, but Sam Altman is predicting that AGI will achieve that sometime next year, is what he thinks. So, and then finally, Steve's, that was it. 3 phases. 1, 2, 3. His advice to dealership employees, here it is: embrace AI changes and stay updated on new technologies to help your dealership thrive.
We got you, Steve.
One way you can do that.
How do you do that? Well, you get the newsletter so you can get prompts of the week like this. So speaking of prompt of the week.
Oh, snap. Oh, I was slow on that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Say it again.
Speaking of the prompt of the week.
Stop. Segue.
Time. The technology's been tough on us. It's been tough on us. Which AI knew. AI was like, we're gonna throw it off just because you're talking about
Thank you, Martha, for subscribing in the live stream. Paul DeVries, oh man, all the way from the Netherlands. It's good to hear from you, my friend. Can't wait to see you next time.
All right, the prompt of the week. This is a prompt we're gonna put together based on an article or something new every single week, just to give you some way to dive in and start learning. This prompt works great in like Gemini or GPT. Probably not so much Perplexity, because Perplexity is much more of a search engine at this point, but a great place to start. So here's the prompt. It says, please help me develop a prompt that captures my company's unique voice, tone, language, and energy. I want to ensure that AI-generated content aligns with our brand's personality and connects authentically with customers, even as we enhance and streamline the process with AI. To do this, ask me one question at a time until you're able to write a comprehensive, brand-aligned prompt for generating future content.
Okay, let me just stop you right there.
Yeah, let's break that down, though.
Yes, because I think this is one of those instances where you're like, oh, I can generate a prompt like that. And the first part of generating the prompt is help me generate a prompt.
Yes.
Right? Yep.
Lead me down a conversation path, right? To do this, ask me one question at a time until you're able to complete the initial task that we stated. And this is something that AI is actually so great at. It's good at extrapolating and going, I need to go deeper. I actually need training and learning in order to accomplish the task that you just asked me for. Because if all you did was say, help me develop, my company's tone, voice, language, and energy, it would initially answer with just some level of tone, energy, language, and voice. And it wouldn't have any context for your brand, who you are, what you do, stuff you've written in the past, all of that. And so a prompt like this is going to lead you down a path. It's actually going to get you thinking. And that's what I love about like great AI prompts. It actually encourages you to think more deeply in order to lead it back. It's what a great assistant would do.
Yeah. And so listen, get the newsletter, go to the website right now, because the prompt, it like you can see it, you can copy it, just copy and paste it. That's the prompt of the week.
Just try it.
Idea is that you can copy and paste it right into your GPT instance, and then you can start to mess around with it and play with it. And then you can customize your own and then. But the most important thing is that you just start, right? We're not talking parlor tricks. We're not talking general search. Let's start to move into that, what Steve called phase one, right? A co-pilot. This is a way to get a first draft on the table as fast as possible. The reason we talk about it is because the people who don't deploy this are going to be left in the dust. And the people who think about it now, even just with a little intentionality, can vastly change what your next 12 months looks like for your and we're not even just talking about your creative team, for sure, your creative and marketing team, but your service team, your sales team, your strategy team, your accounting team. Like, this is going to change everything. We're going to try to be here with you every step of the way and share everything we're learning, curated by actual humans. Chris Reeves said, make sure you say please and thank you. That way, maybe the robots will spare us when they eventually take over. We'll see you tomorrow.